Hey guys, welcome back to the Shipmate YouTube channel. This week we're talking about marketplaces. What are marketplaces and how do they differ from platforms? So if you're an e-commerce seller, you've probably heard the phrase marketplace before. And it's important to understand what is a marketplace and how does it differ from a platform. So generally speaking, in e-commerce, a marketplace refers to using somebody else's platform to sell your product. For example, this would be a place like eBay or Walmart or Amazon, right? So these people have their own platform, right? They market to their own customers and they allow you to come onto their site and sell your products to their customers, right? This is what a marketplace is. Now, marketplaces have a lot of pros and a lot of cons. The great thing about a marketplace is all you got to worry about is the product, right? You got to worry about creating a good product. You got to worry about building that listing and, having the photos and everything like that. But really, you're just responsible for your own product, right? You're not responsible for the billing or the software or any of that extra stuff. And because of that, it allows you to focus more on your business and on your brand. Another advantage is that they usually have a lot of tools that you can take advantage of, right? So marketplaces usually have a specific way of doing business. They'll allow you to put so many photos. They'll have bullet points. Everything will be formatted for you. And because of that, it's really easy to just jump in there and start spewing information, getting something up. Another good thing about marketplaces is that there's a whole bunch of these, right? Like there's probably hundreds of them if you really look here in the United States, and there's even more abroad. And because of this, you can be on all of these, right? You can be selling in 1,000 different places, and you can get your brand out there to as many places as you want to be. So because of this scale, it can be very advantageous. Now, some of the big drawbacks of marketplaces are that they usually cost money to use, right? You're usually paying some sort of seller fee, processing fee, a final value fee, right? And this can range anywhere from, 5% all the way up to I've seen as high as in the 20s. And this fee can really cut into your profitability. Another problem is if they don't charge a fee, or even sometimes if they still do charge a fee, there might be some sort of subscription or plan you have to buy into to be on these platforms. Next, a lot of the times you have to do your advertising through these platforms, right? So if you want to show up at the top of the list on Amazon or on the top of the list as a featured ad on eBay, you might have to pay them a little bit of money for marketing. So, there's an additional expense here. But for me, the biggest drawback of using one of these marketplaces is that these are not your customers, right? And since they're not your customers, they're Amazon's customers, they're eBay's customers, they're Walmart's customers, they're Wayfair's customers, you don't have access to all that powerful information, right, for retargeting campaigns and things like that. And you're paying money and you're putting out effort to better somebody else's website, right, and improve their traffic. So, you're putting in all this labor and the person benefiting from it is not just you. There's somebody else benefiting from the fruits of your labor. So that's a big one for me. The next drawback I want to pay attention to is that marketplaces are very customer-centric. Like I just said, they are the marketplace's customers, not you. And because of that, they usually have a strict set of rules and guidelines. And these rules and guidelines are usually very much in favor of the buyer rather than the seller. And most of the time, if there's a dispute between the buyer and the seller, these marketplaces will always side with the buyer, except in some very specific and rare circumstances. So it's important to remember that these, marketplaces are very customer friendly, but that can add additional costs to you and your business in the way of returns, in the way of refunds, additional costs associated with customer service and returns. So then what is a platform, right? So a marketplace is somebody else's platform. A platform just simply refers to a place that you conduct online commerce. So some examples of platforms would be like Shopify or WooCommerce or BigCommerce, Squarespace, right? Places where you can build your own platform, where you can set your rules, you can be your own master, and you can approach your customers directly. So a platform gives you total control because it's yours. You own it. You're not paying somebody else that fee. You might pay a fee for web hosting or whatever, but it's yours. And this gives you a certain degree of freedom that you do not have with the marketplace. And it's pretty self-explanatory how this can be beneficial to you, because you can set your own rules and policies. You can define how you want things to look, how you want them displayed, where you want to show up on the page. Do you want to run ads? Do you want to whatever? You control that all. And when you direct traffic to that website, it's your traffic. It's your information, right? So it's the counterpoint of a marketplace in a lot of ways. The main drawbacks associated with a platform is usually this takes a lot more effort because it's a lot more involved, right? Because you have all these processes. You have all these policies. You have all this creative design stuff going on, right? So it can be a lot more work intensive. Another drawback is that you do not get, the traffic that some of these larger sites will get. So like, for example, Amazon's the biggest marketplace in the world. It's like putting a McDonald's sign up, right? If you put a McDonald's sign up on the highway, people will pull off and stop and get a burger, right? Because they know McDonald's, burger, right? Same thing's true of Amazon. I need something, I go to Amazon, this is where I get it. They might not be aware of your store, and because of that, you might have to spend more money on advertising to make yourself known and make yourself visible online. This, to me, is the biggest drawback of, having your own platform rather than, using a marketplace. So the question is, do you want control or do you want visibility, right? Because a marketplace comes with maximum visibility, but a loss of control. And a platform comes with maximum control, but a reduced sense of visibility, right? Because unless you're a household name, it's going to be pretty hard to find you online. So, I personally think that the best way to approach this as an e-commerce seller is to do both. Because you can. You want to take advantage of opportunities to sell on all these platforms. Multi-channel seller, as many as you can. But you also want to have your own website with your own products and your own loyal following that you can grow, and you can own those customers, and that you can, collect that information, and that you can remarket, you can run, all kinds of sales and promotions and everything for your own site, because that's important to have too, right? So I'm an advocate of doing both. I don't really think there's a way to go wrong, but I see a lot of people start out in a marketplace and then transition over time, but I've seen people, do the exact opposite. So I hope you guys learned something about e-commerce marketplaces. If you guys could do us a favor, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. We're almost at 4,500, and we need your help to get to 5,000. That's right, the big 5,000. We need your help to get there. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.